There we go. And we are back again. It's your friendly neighborhood film watchers. We are Franklin Football. I'm your humble host, Brandon, and I got my man, 100 Grand. Set it off, Chris, with me. And Chris, I'm feeling pretty good, Chris. I'm feeling pretty good. Let me explain why. The Cowboys had what you described as the most meaningful win of Schottenheimer's young coaching tenure as the Cowboys head coach. Chris, the Cowboys came back in dynamic fashion against the Philadelphia Eagles. And, man, it was really like the tale of two halves, if you want to be.
No, it wasn't, my friend, but keep going. I'm going to let you go. I don't think it was the tale of two halves. Go ahead. Go ahead.
So, you know, we got this game. We played the good, the bad, and the ugly. The reason that I said it was the tale of two halves because of the slow start that the Cowboys got off of the line compared to the Eagles, who started off lightning fast.
Absolutely.
Now, why do you disagree?
Because I don't think it was two halves. I think it was the tale of the first 25 minutes and then the last 35 minutes. And you know, because we real friends in real life, but we got a lot of constituents out here in the Cowboys atmosphere. And it was from our homeboy John Herndon to DMV Fanatic to everybody we kick it with all across the board, man. And it was a pure. I looked at it where some people said, the Eagles, they gave it away. I look at it as the Cowboys took it. Because, we kind of football heads. I think the Cowboys kicked it off or kicked in from the last 4 minutes of the second quarter and then just carried it on. And I always worry about that middle eight. The middle eight is the last 4 minutes of the second quarter and the first 4 minutes of the third quarter. You can flip momentum. And so since the Cowboys had started off crazy, a lot of good stuff, a lot of bad stuff, definitely some ugly stuff we're going to go over. Yeah. But that middle eight is where they flipped it on. And then the second half was a thorough ass whooping. I'm talking about an extension cord with your clothes off. You just got your ass out of the bathtub. Ass whooping. They didn't let you dry off. They let you dry off. Ass whooping that was administrated by my main man, who probably secretly got a burner account and watched our video and watched him get an F on his midseason report card.
Yeah.
So let's go with it, dog.
All right. So, Chris, we like to start off with the good, right? The good has to go to the combo, the quarterback wide receiver combo of Dak Prescott and George Pickens. It was too great to give it just to one person, I liked to compare the connection that they had in week one to the game that we just had, because Pickens being a new Cowboy at that time, you can really tell that progression, through what, 2.5 months. In game one, Dak didn't really feature Pickens like he did. And they didn't have the timing that they have now.
They didn't have any symmetry. They didn't have any synergy. They didn't have any synergy. Yeah, absolutely.
That's the TI word of the day right there.
Yeah, man. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, just after you watched it, it was just great. But keep going, brother.
Absolutely. So then you look at last night's game and you see how Dak trusted Pickens to be where he wanted to be, and he trusted him to find the scrub. A great game that we play. And man, it's a night and day difference. You know what I'm saying? So I think that was one of the key things that made this game so much more winnable, because week one's game wasn't that far off.
No, you should have won. You should have won week one as well. You should have won week one as well. Whereas, if you remember, we started off fast and we were winning the game and tied up, and then the Eagles came and shut us out in the second half. So it was kind of like reversal, in that sense. But going along with your point about George Pickens right now is playing the best wide receiver in the NFL, hands down.
It's either him or Jackson Smith-Njigba.
Okay, all right. You can fight with whoever you want to, but see, Jackson. This is the thing about the Jackson Smith and JSN has had. JSN has at least had an NFL or at least a good quarterback at least sometime other time in his career. George Pickens is playing with the best quarterback he's ever played with in his life, probably since high school. Okay, that's a long time, bro. And so he's been playing out of this world. And The moment has not been too big for him.
Yep.
He's relished in the fact that no matter when my time comes, I'm going to make it. He was 9 for 9 yesterday, and I want to say 9 for 9 for 158 and a tud, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
But it was just
I think it was 149 and a tud.
Okay, 149. Gave a couple.
That's splitting hairs. That's splitting
hairs. Yeah. But I mean, he just showed that he was big time, and a smile on his face, and him fighting through, a little cramp and everything, because he's out there whooping ass left and right. George Pickens played game, but Rain Dakota Prescott just redeemed himself from earlier. Those couple of games that we were like, hey, but what he's doing. The Arizona game where he was forcing it here. The Denver game was like, hey, what's going on? But he turned around and
probably his worst game of the year.
Yeah, Shaka. I mean, he's got 5. They got 5 losses on this season, so you can go from one of those losses and say, hey, he could do this, that, and the other. But he's starting to trend back up in the must-win, because it's either win or we start draft season. That's how I'm looking at it from this point forward.
Hey,
I'm just what it is.
They held me off for another week, Chris.
Yeah. You had to. We was about to go into the vault. We're like, oh, well, nah, we can't go in there yet. That's how it's been. Not tonight. Now we're not going to do it tonight. But I salute to that. My good has got to be the Dallas Cowboy defense for the last 35 minutes of the football game. They pitched an absolute shutout. They got rattled, in the mortal words of one of our favorite Christmas movies, Friday After Next, like Money Mike. They got a little razzle dazzle. You know what I'm saying? But they turned around and picked it up the last 35 minutes, man, and pitched a complete shutout. And that's so hard to do against the defending champions. You have to give them their props. They've been able to find ways to win games, to pull games out of the fire. And yesterday they turned around and said, okay, we're going to stop this. We're going to stay consistent. We're going to flip some things up. And they turned around and played beautiful, forcing turnovers. They just made plays when they had to make plays. What you thinking about, Bum?
So you mentioned how the Eagles just like find a lot of ways to win games, right?
Right.
But you can kind of see the disturbances on the surface of the water when you look at their locker room and you see their players that are talking about, okay, this isn't sustainable. Yeah, we're winning, but we not what is it? Winning. What's the word I'm looking for?
The way they were playing games, it wasn't, like you said, it was not a sustainable formula for them to continue to carry it out of the season. They had to. Yeah. There you go.
Winning demonstrably. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Or convincingly. The wins haven't been convincingly, but they've been wins. Right.
For sure. And winning covers up a lot. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Winning covers up a lot. But when they lose, then it kind of comes to light like, okay, yeah, we can't have these be all of these one-score games or games that we win just off of the strength of a blocked field goal. It can't be that close.
Yeah.
So then when you face one of the higher powered offenses in the league, and yeah, Dallas has been losing games, but our offense can put up points with anybody. It's just that for 9.5 weeks of the season, our defense was allowing 31 points a game.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, that's what we've been praying. We've been like, hey, the offense is scoring 34 points, but the defense is giving up 35. But what ended up happening yesterday, that was the classic, if you give me good players and we believe that we're going to be in the right spots at the right times, what's going on, big guy? We made things happen. And it was just a game where you start seeing guys who we had questions about start to trend up. And it kind of gives us back to what me and you were talking about before about with Matt Eberflus. Give me players and I can make this thing work. This is still, where Jerry's trying to, quote unquote, win the trade. All he's got to do is, like we've been saying since me and you've been together, be active in all phases of football, and you can build a team that's cohesive. Because if you went and got a monster at Quentin Williams, and he was dominant yesterday, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, man, absolutely a force to be reckoned with. And with him being who he, go ahead, bro. Let's talk about the defense. Go ahead,
dude. In the previous weeks, we saw guys like Oso Odigizua and Kenny Clark have to deal with double teams, and they're not the guys who are suited for that. Quentin Williams comes in and he makes everyone's job easier. His line mates, the linebackers behind him, the DBs at the third level of the defense, the effect one elite player can have on an entire side of the ball, man, is a sight to see.
But haven't we been preaching that, B? We've been preaching that for a minute. Excuse me. We've been preaching get explosive on all three levels. And because you have a guy like Quentin that demands, he demands a double team, but he can work off the double team. Now we've got Oso Digizua. Oh my God, he's back making plays, causing penalties, sacks, just playing good ball. And it's like it's a ripple effect throughout the whole team. You got, it took 4 years for Sam Williams to make a play, but dadgummit, he made a play.
When it counted. He did it when it counted.
Made a play when it counted. You got the secondary guys, coming up and making plays because they don't have to be out there on the island all day long, or they're assured that they got guys trying to get pressure. Jadeveon Clowney showing he still had a little bit. He's kind of like working back into football shape.
Yes, that's probably why Clowney kind of started slow. He had that one good game, but then he started slow because he wasn't in camp. At this point, that's kind of his stilo. He'll train the team right at the beginning of the season or game so that he don't have to go through OTAs and camp.
Okay, and that's great, and that's what he did. So he's rounding into shape, and so now you're starting to see this defense click. And guess what, bro? Guess what? I told you earlier we supposed to be on at 8:30, but I'm a little bit behind because guess what we doing? We getting ready for a little ham, little turkey breast, little yams, you know what I'm saying? Getting into it, you know what I'm saying? I got the bourbon on deck because it's about to be time for the cavalry to come. You see what I'm saying?
Oh, there we go. So think about this, Chris. The Cowboys kind of had a quandary that they had to find the answer to at defensive tackle once they brought Quentin Williams in, right? We made a video about that when they made that trade. Who were the two that's going to be? The Cowboys said, man, forget all that. We got 3 of them. We're going to start running 5 up front.
Yeah. And so now... And so that gives them the diversity. If I want to put Quentin Williams at a defensive end on the outside, and I'm gonna put Kenny Clark inside and Oso on the side, now you got to deal with that. So and basically what they do is,
isn't that crazy? Quentin and our nose tackle, they put him at the 5 tech, Chris. But for people who don't know what the 5 tech is, that's the lineman is lined up at the outside shoulder of one of the tackles.
Right, got you.
Yeah. They have Quentin lined up at the 5, Chris, and he's still wreaking havoc. That's how versatile he is. And so, just like you said, and we had a video, I want to say like 3, maybe 4 weeks ago, when I got DMV Fanatic, where we talked about, man, Matt Eberflus might not be gone because Jerry talked about how important continuity could be and how he hasn't really had that in the past few years.
Right.
And we thought, okay, that means that Eberflus is going to stay. So then you get him the players and you want to see how his scheme can work. And he gets all of that pressure up front without blitzing extra guys, without blitzing your linebackers, without blitzing any DBs. And so, hey, if you get him the players, then he has a more likelihood to succeed.
And he can bring guys back slowly, surely. Overshowing is working his way back into shape. You don't have to throw. You got him on the GOAT count. I ain't gonna.
Hey, look, it's almost a holiday.
But you do got him on. You do got him on a GOAT. You got him on a snap count. But you're using them. But you get Maris is making plays. Logan's making plays. Dude, it's a beautiful thing to see it coming together, man. So my good was the defense, man. I had to tip my cap to them for what they did yesterday.
Yeah, and just like Sports Guru says, the 3 tech is the driving force behind an effective defense. And we got 2 3 techs on the field and a defensive line monster. Because you can put Q anywhere. You can put him at outside. Yeah, he's just so versatile. He's honestly at the 1 tech.
Dude, he's Chris Jones like. Yeah, he's Chris Jones like. Yeah. Well, you can just put him anywhere, and he can play, like you said, find the scrub and cause havoc.
Yeah. So think about what that did for your defense. You saw Logan Wilson be able to be free, in a way that he wasn't in Cincinnati before.
Right.
You see Overshown And although he just had energy for days and so fast and all of that, he can be free because he doesn't have to worry about the trash in front of him.
Absolutely.
And he's also still working his way back, like you said, on a snap count from his injury.
Right.
Maybe, depending on how Thanksgiving go, they can ramp him up as the weeks go on. But dude, like it cannot be stated how important that Quentin Williams trade was to the Cowboys' defensive improvement.
No, it cannot be stated by going and getting a viable piece to work. You could have went and gotten a one technique to be able to do that, but you just went and got one of the best one techniques, best one of the best defensive linemen in the game to do it. So
Yeah.
it's all about going back to what we always say, keeping the pressure on the front office to do that, to make this a team, to build the team that gives us a chance to win a championship.
Yeah. And Chris, going back to what we talked about with Dak Prescott, this was the way that the game started out anyway, was one of those games where you would get that look from Dak Prescott. You know, like the deer in the headlights look, where he's sweating, his eyes are wide and whatnot. But man,
Right.
we haven't gotten that this year, no matter how far back we've been in the game. And
I mean, go ahead.
I think that's
Go ahead.
next maturation process. He's getting year 10 as a quarterback, but he's still showing improvement, whether it's at the physical or the mental level. He kept his composure, and he allowed himself to command the offense to come back. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
'Cause in previous years, he would try to press. You know what I'm saying, or lose focus, and you can see it. That's always been one thing about Dak Prescott. You can see when the wheels are turning in his head, when he's doing too much.
I think. Well, let me piggyback on that. What I saw was when they went down 21-0. It was like, I think they had to realize we can do what we want to do here. Yeah. We don't have to. We have time to come back, and we have to believe we can come back. We've been doing everything to move against these guys, and we're just really trying to slay them early, when we just got to just be ourselves and do certain things. And everybody had to have a redeeming quality in this game. So you had them make it the fort where I want to get to my bad. Well, my ugly is
honestly, we didn't even get to the bad yet.
Okay. Well, I'll get to my bad. My bad is the play calling by Brian Schottenheimer. I was not. Yes. Well, okay. There's a time there's a time and a place to be aggressive. Mm-hmm. Early in the game, 4th down near the goal line, just take the points. Yeah. Get the points. Get on the board. Get that 0 off the board, and let's play ball. And he turned around and did that. My problem, I really believe you should have beat them by 17 points. You've kicked the field goal there. You do that. Then you turn around after you get the fumble from Sam Williams on Saquon Barkley. You've got the ball. The first play, you turn around, you run the football. You get 8 yards. Then you started getting cute, and the cute part is trying to throw to a midget. You know what I'm saying? Get him off the field. Okay, I'm over it. You know what I'm saying? You've been over it a lot longer than me. When I'm over it, I'm going to say it. Get the little dude off the field. I don't want him on the field no more offensively. If he don't get it in the punt game or kickoffs.
I texted that to you today.
Okay. I was probably running around, but yeah, you got cute. You ran the ball once and you did 3 passes. You had to punt the ball back. Then special teams had to be heroic. Mm-hmm. Shout out to Elijah Clark. Him, doing what he did to go down there and make the play. Then you turn around in that next first after the fumble recovery again. So now you got 2 back-to-back turnovers, and now you got to go make a play. The first play, you run the ball for the 10-yard line. Williams takes it down to the 2. It's 2nd and goal on the 2-yard line, and you start throwing the ball.
Yeah, there was no need to do that. There was
no need.
Let your running back get that touchdown in the stat line.
No, what you do is you break a man's will and run it down his throat.
Yeah,
run it down his throat, because they were getting up slow. They was ready to give it up. They was ready to give it up a whole lot sooner than that, and you got cute and kept giving them life. And that was my thing. That was my bad. His play calling was, it just seemed sometimes you know what you said to me early in the year, and we got a video on it. We were talking about the word for the day was culture, right?
Mhm.
The word for the team was we were going to have a physical presence. We were
Yep.
going to be a downhill
Mhm.
running football team. We were going to impose our will. We weren't going to make our offensive linemen do what they weren't good at. Well,
Yep.
guess what? We can run the football.
Yep.
We've got a good running back. So just go ahead and run the football and impose your will. And he didn't. And his play calling was very very Kellen Moorish, to say the
Mhm.
least.
Yeah,
You know what
for
I'm
sure.
saying? Yeah, that's it. So that was my bad.
But at the same time, wasn't Shoddy the OC when Seattle threw away the Super Bowl? So that isn't there a little bit of history there?
Was he the OC then?
I believe so. I believe so.
Listen. Listen. Since I ain't got the receipts on that, and I didn't look it up, I'm
Mhm.
only gonna deal with 2025 Dallas Cowboy
For sure.
OC, or head coach play calling, Brian
Mhm.
Shaw. And yesterday, he tried to get cute with it.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. My bad, Chris, will probably be the self-inflicted wounds. And like you said, it came as a result of getting cute. I texted you this earlier today. I don't think I need to see Cavante Turpin on offense
Nope. I don't
because
need. Listen. Go ahead.
yeah, Williams might be tired. Throw the ball. Don't put Cavante Turpin in at running back because, and for what it's worth, that's a back pedal. That's on me. That's me.
Oh yeah,
That's me. Because
yeah,
I had points in my content creator life where I just wanted to get Cavante Turpin on the field to use that speed.
yeah.
I don't need that no more.
I don't
I
need
don't need that no
that.
more.
I'm good.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
good.
You know what? I'm good. I think I'll be all right. And Cavante Turpin came in and tripped on his own foot and fumbled the ball on the offensive lineman's leg. I think that at that point he cost himself the bit of snaps that he had because when it comes to that wide receiver room, of course you got your two main guys, but then Ryan Flournoy has his emergence.
Gotcha.
Yeah, we're still looking for a running back too, but if you're gonna do that, if you're gonna fumble untouched, then we'll figure it out elsewhere. Maybe they'll have something with Malik Davis. They ran out of elevations for him, but maybe he'll have to just be elevated onto the roster, as a permanent guy because he can't
Absolutely. Right. Right.
Phil Maffa's year is done. But Jaden Blue is still there. Yeah, he's a rookie. You know how I feel about rookies. But yeah, Turpin probably just. I think that we don't need his offensive services. He could just be our special teams guy.
I said it, man. Listen, what got me was when they had the screen pass underneath, and he just looked out of sorts. But the thing that really sealed the deal for me was late in the game, you getting the ball back. You've got to get in position for a game-winning field goal. He gets the penalty for the false fair catch. So he catches the ball, he waves his hand, and the first thing he do, he starts running. Hey man, you just waiting for a fair catch.
Exactly.
See what I'm saying?
It's a mental
Listen,
left. It's a self-inflicted wound, man.
Self-inflicted and just selfish. Oh, I want to make a play. So hey man, listen, Cavante, we appreciate you, man. We love the fact of the matter that you standing in the gap for all the vertically challenged little fast dudes all over the planet. You know what I'm saying? Salute, man. We give you that.
Mm-hmm.
But as for that, all I want to see you do punt returns and kickoffs. You know what I'm saying? That's it, man. I'm good with that.
Absolutely, man. They do got to figure out something with running back too, though. They definitely have to figure something out.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
They just tried to put him in there, see if it worked. And I applaud the effort because for years now they've been doing it in training camp and it looked nice. They just did it in the game scenario and it was just like, come on, dude. Because this is someone who's already fighting for wide receiver 4, and then in your few and far between snaps, you do that early in the game.
Hey, listen, I just feel like, man, listen, You're trying to make a guy be something that he isn't, and you know, you kept him on because of his explosiveness and what he could do in the punt return game, and you want to give him the ball. But you cut a guy who was that small, who had been a running back at a high level in college, and you couldn't get him on the field. So just
for what it's worth, it's a big difference in 5'5", 160 and 5'9", 180 or 185, something like that.
Not to me. They both small. They both small.
Look, I'm taller than both of them. And they look.
Listen, both of them can shop in the regular stores and not worry about having clothes. Okay, they always got their size in there. Hopefully in the men's section, but they could go to the boys section. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just saying it is what it is. Not but I'm just saying you want to have a running back. So I have if Jaden Blue does not want to take advantage of this opportunity of being able to be running back number 2, then Malik Davis needs to be running back number 2 to the end of the year.
Or Hunter Lipke.
He needs to be the guy.
Or Hunter Lipke.
Or Hunter Lipke. I'm going to go with that 3-headed monster. And Jaden Blue can try to figure it out. And if he doesn't figure it out by the time we, get through, if he doesn't figure out by the time we start getting ready to go into mini camps, that's no problem because April's coming. Yep. And I'll be able to go find a guy on the way. I'll find somebody on the waiver wire and I can go draft somebody.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because, if I fall a certain kind of way and things work out, I'll definitely make one of these in the first round. Hey, it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. So, but at the end of the day, man, I'm the ugly for me or the bad for me was Kavonte Turpin, and as you said, just the self-inflicted wounds.
Yeah.
Give me your ugly, bro. I think I know where you're going though.
That slow start, Chris. Yeah, that slow start, man. That was, I think, and kind of like you said, like Brian Schottenheimer, that was the ugly to me.
Okay.
Against the highest of the highs when it comes to these opponents, you cannot start off the first 25 minutes of the game scoreless. You cannot let a team get up on you 21-0.
Absolutely. No.
And of course you had your guys come in and then through some officiating assistance. Now the refs didn't do us any favors. These were legit calls. You know what I'm saying?
Gotcha. Right.
That put us back in position. Cooper DeJean was one of the guys who gave up quite a bit of yards, whether it be through a PI / big catch by CD or Pickens handling him and Zach Vaughn. By the way, they targeted him. Crazy, right? And,
right.
Okay, this is interesting. Cooper DeJean in the slot is a really good corner. I'm not sure if Cooper DeJean on the outside is a great corner.
I mean, we got the same kind of situation. Deron Bland in the slot is a really, really good guy. But when you start around and start putting him outside, it's that's how it is.
Yeah. One of AJ Brown's bigger catches early in the game was on Deron Bland.
Absolutely.
So you're absolutely right. You want to put guys in position to succeed. I don't think that Philly did that with Cooper DeJean.
No,
they tried to have him on CD. CD had an amazing catch on him, and they put him on Pickens with some help for what it's worth. Pickens did it. So yeah. But also that other guy, Quinyon Mitchell, he got beat up a bit by
George. Hey man, George called game on that dude, Said, hey, throw this slant on him. I don't care, he's over here, and wouldn't get game on him. So it's listen, man, it was just to the point where you had your you had your 2 ones wide receivers doing work on this secondary, which we had all called on all year long. So we said that, this was the dynamic duo that we felt could handle certain things. Ferguson did his thing. Span Ford had catches out there.
I love the Span Ford.
Yeah. Span Ford, had the touchdown. Schoonmaker almost had a catch. It's almost just.
Dang, nabbit. Come on.
It's one of those things, Luke. Yeah. He didn't use the force, and that's what ended up happening, man. So outstanding play by our wide receiver core on last night. So but that was your ugly, huh?
Yeah,
That
that's
was your
slow
ugly.
start, man. That's slow start.
Okay. Well, my ugly is the one we're gonna have to get to, man. My ugly was CD Lamb. My ugly
Okay,
was CD Lamb.
talk to me. Talk to me.
You know, to go 4 for 11, 4 catches on 11 targets, but the drops are, for me, troubling.
Two really big ones. It was two
Yeah,
really big ones.
yeah. On the fourth down late in the game, where you could have caught it and put the game away. But it's the mentality with when he comes to the sideline, when it doesn't go his way, and he's like, I'm okay. Yeah,
And all that
the body language is bad, and so now it's getting to the point. I say either you're a receiver or you're a retriever. You know what I'm saying? You're a retriever. And right now, I think he's too much in his own head. I was talking to our buddy DMV, and he's like, man, I would have went over there and say, hey man, get your GYST, because this is a family show.
Yeah.
But me personally, I probably would have just made something to the point of just kind of, for him, he's never had a problem with catching the football. To have 2 games, to have 6 drops.
I wouldn't say a drop problem. See, I feel like life is about issues and problems.
Okay.
A problem is your phone about to die. An issue is your phone about to die. A problem is you got a charger. You know what I'm saying? So
okay.
PD has had drop issues. Going back even to last year. But last year,
I take last year for having a bad shoulder. Sure. So I'll give you that. But my thing, like I said, having these 6 drops in the last 2 games, me personally, I think he's overthinking it. From the beginning of the season where he had the 4 drop, he had the bad catch to target ratio. I think he had 15 to 6. Plus he had that one up the sideline they would have caught and they could have won the game. Yeah. So then everybody's like, oh, he's dropping the ball.
Was the same way.
Absolutely.
That touchdown, and that was earlier in the game.
Right.
That puts the game in a whole different light.
But and so I think he's overthinking it. Listen, just go back to being naturally what you do. You've been catching the football your whole life. One of the biggest things we loved how his concentration on the ball and catching the ball. Yeah. And this is not a competition or if I'm number one or if George is number one. Nope. George is just in a zone right now.
Yeah,
he's got the hot hand. That doesn't make him better than you. Nope. Or anything like that. It just means that he's the hottest guy right now. Yeah. And so all you do is let that flow. And because the waves, the ocean comes in and goes out, your turn is gonna come. And then when that happens, you're gonna be the hot hand. But the beautiful part I like about it is that doesn't seem to be any animosity between them clashing. They're just trying to get the job done.
Anger is focused toward Pickens or Dak or anything like that.
So it's more eternal, him putting pressure on himself. Yep. So honestly, the ugly was his night, but the solution is just get back to what you do great, Sedaria. Yeah. Get back to just being CD, having fun, swiping your nose, cooking it in the pot, all that good stuff, man. And just go make plays.
So I agree with you in a lot of ways, Chris. Pickens just has the hot hand right now. Because if you think about earlier in the season, CD was balling. He had those first 2 games where he put on a show.
Right.
His first game back against the Commanders, balled out. So he hasn't. It's not like he's just been forgotten because Pickens is the new shiny toy. And it's not like he even necessarily had a bad game yesterday.
No,
he just needed to corral some of those catches in.
Right.
But I do think that, like you said, once he gets out of his own head, I hate to use the term buy-in. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't think that's what he needs to do. But once he kind of sees, like, all right, look, it's the Pickens show right now, but they're gonna call my number 2 because CD also got more targets than Pickens. Pickens just so happened to be in a situation where he could utilize his skill set a lot more. He was big bodying people, 50-50 catches.
He was playing the game at such a smooth and elegant and powerful way, dude. Every time, I mean, for you to go 9 for 9, and it wasn't like bubble screens and hooks. I'm talking about get out in routes and go make plays. That's what was so impressive.
One was right across the middle, a body bag.
Yeah. Yeah, and he goes and makes it, man. And it's just he's just playing in that air where you know there's nobody out here who can stop me. He's almost it kind of reminisces, you know, when Steph gets on a heater and he's putting people to sleep.
Yeah.
Or you know, Michael in the finals, like, hey, nothing I can do. There's nothing he can do to stop me. So, and that's how he's been playing really for the last 6 weeks.
Yeah. I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
And it all started when CD got hurt, you know, because
Absolutely.
he had more responsibility. But one thing that I like, Dak has never been the guy to play favorites.
Right.
He's distributing the ball evenly amongst everybody, whether it's CD, whether it's Jake, whether it's Pickens. He's still picking the open target, picking the best target for the situation. He's not forcing them to say, all right, I gotta get the ball to CD because I got to make him happy, or I got to make him feel welcome, so I got to target him more.
Yep,
he's still playing the game.
Yeah, he's playing the game, and we talked about for at a very, very high level. He did kind of force in some areas where he was trying to get CD going because but that's the maturity where CD can be to the point where he's got to get a touch. Back in the day, it used to be to the point like Des Bryant would go a quarter without getting a touch. And it would seem like he would check out. And because wide receivers move a certain kind of way, you do have to get them going. But what ended up happening, I mean, yesterday, like I said, I think it was 12 attempts, 12 targets for CD, 9 for George. Good distribution and getting it out to the tight ends. And so it worked out great. You know, like you said, Rain is playing at a super duper high level, but it's just we want to see that number of catches the drops to definitely get a lot closer, you know, with more catches from CD and going forward from there.
One thing that I did know though is after he had the drops in week 1, spent
the next week
on the jugs machine. You know,
but see, that's what I'm saying. I don't need it to be so much publicized that he's on the judge machine. Go back to just making the game simple. Go back to making the game fun. Go back to the point where I'm just doing what I do. I'm not overthinking it. And I think that's the biggest thing he's doing right now.
For sure. But one thing that I do like, CD isn't necessarily the one who goes about and says like, hey, I'm doing all of this. He's not performative with it. That came from other people.
True.
So
okay.
I can appreciate that.
Okay.
And the reason that he does it comes from a good-hearted place too. He's doing it because he wants to improve. It's not like direct competition with Pickens or anything like that. He wants to put the team in the best position to succeed, and he knows that comes from him.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I think you know but it's more pressure he's putting on himself. I got to be the number one. I got to be the leader. I got to be the guy that everybody's looking to. You know, they paid me this money, and all those different things are fine and they're true. But what got you to this point? Going out running great routes, being yak lamb, being a straight up problem, and now you ask for a sidekick. Well, you got a sidekick. You know, you got the Batman. You got your guy who's ready to rock, and if you look over here too long, he's over here on his backside doing great things. You just got to go back to being who you are. Mm-hmm. Don't worry about so much what he's doing because he's doing his job, and you just go back to doing what you normally do. And together, man, it makes a great situation for the Cowboys.
Absolutely. So, Chris, back when we did our pregame in week 1, you know, the lead up to week 1 against the Eagles.
Okay,
we talked about how the way to beat Hurts is to get him to drop his eyes. I think that the way that you do that, the way that you get pressure directly in front of the quarterback, what's the fastest route between point A and point B, Chris?
It's a straight line.
Straight line. And so you get that by pressure with your defensive tackles. And that's why we were so much more effective defensively this week. Because we got a gangster in there. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And so Quentin Williams made it so all of the other guys could come in and do their job better.
Right.
So I think that was one of the main reasons for the difference. We were able to force them to beat us with Hurts.
Yeah, I mean, I think what you end up doing, what you did was you made him drop his eyes,
Yep.
and then when he tried to scramble, you had guys who were clean and not fight through trash. It was either Overshown running to cut him off, Donovan Wilson, coming down the box and trying to make a tackle. Just doing those different things, and so the goal is to rattle him by getting pressure up front. Making sure you secure the edges and then just go run and tackle. It's not like, even though he's a running back playing quarterback, he's not a great runner. Does that make sense? Like, let's say we can say definitively that Lamar Jackson is a great runner of the football.
Oh, yeah.
We can say without question, Josh Allen is a great runner of the football.
Sure.
So we can look at those guys. We can say Jaden Daniels is slippery and runs well with the football.
Little skinny, but sure.
Yeah, but Jalen is not that guy that's going to beat you with his feet. He'll beat you if you got your back turned and then you got to come and try to catch him. But if you're able to run and be clean like the Cowboys were, like I said, Overshown, Wilson, Logan Wilson, stuff like that, it happens like that.
Yeah, and what helped them even more, we put the ball in Hurts' hands because we shut Saquon Barkley down again. For what it's worth, he hasn't necessarily had the best year anyway.
True. But
we kept him to under 4 yards a carry yesterday.
I mean, the goal is not to let anyone have their career day on us. We ended up early in the season having Jacoby Brissett, Russell Wilson, Bo Nix.
Dreams come true.
Yeah, it was. Everybody was on Space Mountain. We kept him from that, man. We made it a terribly tough day for a premium running back in Saquon Barkley, which we've been trying to do. Let's stop the run, and now we're doing it. And now all these pieces are coming together for us defensively. So hats off, man, to my man, Eberflus.
But Chris, wouldn't it have been so much better if we could have did this and kept Micah Parsons? Like,
no.
We could have traded that one for Quentin Williams anyway.
I mean, my thing is, things happen for a reason. I told you, I referenced this song a while back. Quincy Jones, everything must change. Winter turns to spring. A lonely heart will heal. But never much too soon. And I'm glad Quentin Williams is here now to help us, solidify this defense. Because now I'm getting what we said, unified defense is able to make plays all over the field.
Yeah.
My linebacker room, the linebacker room that you've been praying, not crying, but saying needed to be upgraded, has been upgraded, in 2 years, it's been upgraded so much to the point now you love what you see.
Yeah. So we got a short week, right? So we're gonna, maybe talk about the rest of the league tomorrow. But Wednesday, instead of doing 2 videos, we just talk about the Chiefs, that matchup as a whole, right?
Absolutely, we can do that. We can definitely do that, man. Make that happen. Kind of, get that, and then we'll, get that another playoff game again, because every game's a playoff game.
Yeah, but you want to know the great thing about it, though, Chris? And this is kind of like a preview. It's the same thing for the Chiefs. For both of these teams, every single game for the rest of the year is a playoff game.
So now you get to see, you have to see, how Shoddy and this team progresses, how they mature, and they're gonna have to do some certain things. But having a short week, guys coming back and playing, and trying to keep marching, man, to get to the point of getting into the tournament. Yeah. Super excited about it, man.
And hopefully stop me. Well, not hopefully, but hopefully stop me from getting in the draft mode for another week.
Hey, man, you know what? Even if it does hold us off another week, ain't nothing like having some good old wings, man. And don't you like wings, man?
Hey,
I like whole eggs. I love me some nice A wings, little hot hot with a little lemon pepper. You know what I'm saying? Just delicious. You know, just special time of year, especially when you.
I ain't never had eagle wings before, Chris. I ain't never
Oh
had
yeah,
eagle wings before in my life. Tried
I mean,
it was delicious.
it was delicious. Hey man, definitely loved it, man. So definitely love beating that team. Definitely love seeing the Cowboys starting to progress. It wasn't Las Vegas, and this is the second week this defense has looked like that. So now we march on to the third phase of the game we got. We got the Chiefs coming up next, and we'll go over that tomorrow, as well as we talk about the rest of the league, man. Yep. From that point, man. Listen, man, walk us out, B. Walk us out.
All right, so Chris likes to call himself the sidekick. You know, the
Alfred.
I think that he does himself a disservice because one thing.
Hey man,
Alfred is a dog.
Alfred's a bad man. Alfred's a bad man.
And he don't got that rule Batman got.
Yeah.
I was reading this comic book one time, Chris. Alfred, somebody kicked in the door to Bruce's crib. Alfred had the pump ready for him.
Yeah. Hey, but you know,
in the courtesy that my master extends to you. Yeah, because you know Batman no killing rule.
Gotcha.
Alfred said, "Nah, that's not me.
That ain't me.
That's not me.
That ain't what I get done.
God put all this iron on this earth. It would be not to use it."
I like Alfred. Alfred, it was my guy, but yeah, I ain't no much work.
You're more important than that, though, Chris.
Okay.
I said, I used the Justice League analogy. I said, you Mr. Terrific. You know,
man,
because that movie just recently came out, the Superman.
No doubt.
And
right.
Mr. Terrific kind of stole the show in a lot of that. I said, Chris, you got to give yourself more credit. You know, you are detrimental to this show's success.
Yeah, well, I like being a part of this thing, but yeah, I like to put the spotlight on you, man. You do a lot of great work, man.
Hey, brother, it wouldn't happen without you. So for you guys, the audience, I need you to do 4 things for me. I need you to like, comment, share, and subscribe. You know, in the comments, you know, if you're coming in post show, I want you to tell me your favorite play from the Cowboys versus Eagles game.
No doubt.
Mine was when George Pickens caught that pass over Cooper DeJean and Zach Vaughn. There's like a still frame of him walking away and both of them just being tangled up.
Yeah, just tangled up on the ground.
I need to see the sideline picture on that with one of those 4K cameras. I need to see.
Oh yeah. I got it. I'll send it to you. I got one for you. I got one for you. Okay. My favorite play, honestly, man, was seeing, you know, nimble Rain. I like to see when Rain dives into the end zone. Hadn't seen him do that in a long time, man. Reminds me of when he was a young buck, you know, looking like he was back in Mississippi State doing his things. The touchdown to the corner, man, that kind of tied the game up. It was awesome. I love seeing that.
Absolutely, bro. So me and Chris, you know, we've been doing this thing for a while. You know, we call ourselves the Friendly Neighborhood Film Watchers. You know, so we gonna come into these streets on Thursday. You know, recap. Excuse me, not Thursday, but for Thursday's game.
Yeah, before yeah.
And you know, talk about this upcoming game, man. That set it off, Chris. I'm Brandon. Together we make Franklin football. So until next time, peace.